name is Sylvain Rochon. I am the Paradise Engineer, and I'd like to talk about something I'm passionate about, which is education and the future, both of them. I just wrote this article and on an inspiration from last week again, and I've written about this in my book, in Engineering Paradise. Are you ready? As well, and I'll keep writing about this because this is really important. It's the training of the new generation of our children into leading them into a better world, into a world where, well, I think it's better at least, where artificial intelligence is dominating all the repetitive tasks. They're dominating all sorts of other tasks, including non-repetitive ones, the creative ones. It's a very different economy, a very different political system probably as well, if we play our cards right. And the reason why this is one of my favorite subjects is that, education currently, the way it is now, it's still very traditional based. We're still training manufacturing workers in a way, because we're in batches of 30 or 20, if you're lucky. And everybody's learning the same things in the same classroom from the same teacher. It's standardized. We have standardized testing. All this stuff is really out of date. We can't expect to have people that will be able to think on their own feet in a world where things are changing by the minute. When we're producing individuals, we're teaching them by the spoonful everything they need to know, one thing at a time. That's not how the world works right now. And in particular, again, with AI, taking over all the standard tasks, I guess, and McKinsey Global Institute estimates that today about 50% of all paid tasks can be done by AI more efficiently. So imagine in 10, 15, 20 years from now, when the children, the young bucks and buckettes that are in school right now as they're starting, when they graduate 20 years from now, everything that is currently paid jobs or paid tasks will be automatable, including the definitions and the figuring out of new jobs that we don't even know yet. So what are they going to do? And I've talked about this maybe a month ago in another article to a certain extent, but I want to focus on the educational system. We have AI being able to do all this stuff, this repetitive stuff, this manufacturing stuff, and right now we're teaching students like they're going to be ready to actually compete with this AI and robot that has access to all the word information simultaneously and up to date constantly. They can't compete, and that it shouldn't be the purpose of our children right now to be able to compete with the artificial intelligence, which will be more intelligent, more efficient, more productive than any one of us combined. So what do? Well, as far as the education system is concerned, well, we can't do it this way. We have to change our mind, and to be able to figure out what we need to do with our children, we need to figure out what kind of world they're coming into, which is why I'm referencing my previous article. And what our people are going to be doing, I guess, is the most pressing point. What are they going to be doing? And what value will they bring to society, like new graduates, for example? Well, there's still going to be a need for people to do certain things, because offer and demand is based on demand. So people, like, if I need something, since AI can do everything efficiently and it's accessible, then everything becomes a commodity and cheap. That's a future of abundance, which is a principle that was written about at length by Ray Kurzweil and Peter Diamandis in their book, The Abundance. You can check it out online. And so AI is basically able to take care of everything that we consider, that our needs, our social needs, all sorts of any kind. But there is one need that AI cannot fulfill, which is the human needs for human companionship in all its forms. For example, if you go to a gourmet restaurant, Um, well, your expectations is you're going to have a social experience. You won't be faced with a bunch of robots and a tablet to make your order. It's an actual experience. You have probably a waiter. So that's the demand. A sports guy or girl, so an athlete, let's call it that, will still want to play the sport, even though robots can probably beat them at any game possible. That's not the point. Is the athlete wants to compete, to move his body, him or her body, and enjoy the sport. That's a demand. And if there are people that are playing sports at different levels, there are people that will enjoy watching them. Same with arts, music, sculpting. There's still a desire for human beings to be active and do certain things on their own impulses by pleasure. And there are some spectators, people that want to consume whatever is being produced. You can see that very clearly in the esports phenomenon that we're seeing now with like 25 millions of people watching other people playing video games. Well, that's an offer and demand. Sure, we have AI and bots that inside the games that can play on their own, but we're there to see teams of human beings play against each other. A lot of us are there to see that. Some people have fans. So, and it's same for so we're not going to be in a situation where there's an offer and demand um, that's very prevalent based on producing basic needs like food, clothing. There's going to be some, but there's still going to be artistic farmers, for example. You still have going to have some individuals that are excited at making clothing, and the value of that clothes is that clothes made by a human being, a specific human being, will be higher than the automated ones, which are commoditized because those can be produced en masse at very very cheaply. Uh, and if there's if there's something special being created by a person in a sea of AI and robots being able to do basically the same thing, but that particular piece of clothing, which is less efficient, probably faulty, has nuances, personality, that has value. And if there's value to it, people will want to seek that value. So that's the world where we're going into, hopefully, because we have to engineer our worlds and change our world to reach that point. It doesn't happen automatically. We have the technology to actually do that, and soon even more, but we have to work on it. So back to our students. What are we teaching them? Well, information is infinitely available, so teachers are no longer there to impart information on its own. It's about giving experience, guiding the students on how to identify true and fake news, facts, bad information, how to source this information, how to find the information, things like that, using the tools that are available. That's one, but also life experience. How do you work with others? How do you learn properly? How do you advance and become something like an artist or a baseball player or a sculptor? Not a sculptor, geez, a cook. All these things. How do you actually manipulate in a human way, in a different way? So we'll have mentors and educators and guides that have experience in their human form, so being human with their life experience, be able to guide others into blossoming into their own unique personality and their unique value proposition in the world, because the world does not need the people in a fundamental sense to provide basic goods anymore. You don't need people to do anything. We will be able to enjoy each other and develop our own skills and personality and fun enjoyment in creating and bringing value to society as ourselves, as human beings, with the demand that is attached to it, because people will be hungry for this unique flavor and interaction with each other, because we are social. And so The system has to be completely reinvented, the education system, I mean, into be- helping individuals becoming better human beings and developing their own personality and skills. That's experience. That's us. That's other human beings that have gray hair that are educators to guide them through. And we can use online systems to make sure that you can go at your own pace and be efficient with information gathering and delivery and training and tasks, because you still need to take information, still need to practice it to absorb it and assimilate it properly. Online systems can do a lot of that, and we will still need some locations, some schools for students to congregate and work with each other, do projects, interact with experienced individuals. And these schools can take all sorts of forms, and they will, because each individual will be able to explore their own personality and their own way of doing things, because they need to identify what they want to do inside society in general, in the general sense, and what value they provide. And the value they can provide could be just being a parent. That has super high value in society. It is not something that is paid for today, even though everybody agrees it has high value. That's because it doesn't produce an actual tangible product that can be purchased by somebody else. You're creating a society that can perform, but you're not getting paid for it. But in a new society where everything's kind of commoditized, well, being a parent and if that's what you want to do, that has value. That is something. That could be anything. Everybody can be unique. They don't need to be machined into classrooms of 30. Everybody should follow their whims at their own pace, find their muses, and enjoy the process. And then in the end, again, in a world where AI and robotics are taking care of all the basic needs, essentially, well, you need people that will enjoy themselves within that world, and then you'll have consumers who will be enjoying each other, enjoying each other's value, each other's uniqueness. There's no need. Robots will be taking all the repetitive stuff, taken care of, all done. We don't need any of that. So we have to change our mind at what a school system is completely. It's more about helping individuals. Like, parents don't know everything. They don't know all the tasks. So it's more of a social experience where children can get experiences from experienced individuals in a certain fields that they're interested in, that their parent may not be. And not every parent is a good educator, by the way, because there's a certain skill to that. And we can just develop wonderful, amazing human beings that are capable of wonderful human interaction, that are capable of learning new ways of thinking, new ways of doing things, new ways of interacting with each other, facilitated by the support of the technology, providing all the basic needs and basic goods and survival elements and all the services, as well as a community of human beings as well that are supporting each other in blossoming each individual into something great, into something that has world value, intrinsic world value, just by being whoever each individual is. And that's where we should be going towards, and that's the education system that is appropriate for that. So I'm hoping I'm in the battle to engineer this paradise myself, and this is all doable. And that's the education system type that we'll need for that. We can do it. It's something we can grasp for and that we can reach out for, and we should. Because that is a wonderful future where people are not worried and people don't have any more concerns about survival. And that's really important, lowering that stress level to the minimum. I mean, what better for our children than basically a stress-free environment, but there's no chronic stress. Just regular relational stress is enough. Because we have a lot of that already, but those are generally irrational, temporary, and manageable. Anyway, that's going to be it for now. You can read the article where I define things a little bit differently when I write, so you can read up on that down below. And well, let's make it work together. Ciao for now.